Hello viewers and my dear students. Welcome to one-dimensional problem analysis. This is session 1 on one-dimensional problem analysis. Here I'll be giving you a demo on one-dimensional bar analysis. Okay, these are all offline video help files prepared by me, Dr. B. Gurdat, former professor and head, Department of Mechanical Engineering, Bangalore Institute of Technology, KR Road, Bangalore 4, presently working as Professor at the Department of Mechanical Engineering, Nitta Meenakshi Institute of Technology, Yelahanka, Bangalore 64. Now, before we start with doing problem and answers, okay, I want you to introduce with some of the basic concepts related to one-dimensional problem analysis. See here, one-dimensional problems are bars. Okay, these are all elements having spread in single degree, single direction. Elements having spread in single direction, please mind that, are known as one-dimensional elements. Such elements have a particular dimension quite longer compared to its other dimensions. Such elements are pipes, shafts, truss members, cables, small diameter chimneys, thin towers, etc. You can see this. This is a typical one-dimensional problem, that is a bar, where the length is considerably high when compared to its diameter and all that. For one-dimensional problems, the stress, strain, displacement and loading depend only on the variable x. That means we are loading only in the x direction. This is x direction, only in the x direction. There will be no transverse loading. There is no loading in the y direction. Hence, bending is not at all considered. It is only axial stresses. Okay, what is being considered in one-dimensional problems, because only axial loading. That is, if this is the direction x, axial loading is applied. The force in the direction of x is only is applied. See here, for one-dimensional problem, the stress, strain, displacement and loading depends only on the variable x. The degree of freedom is a variable that describes the behavior of a node in an element. In a one-dimensional problem, every node is permitted to displace only in the plus or minus x direction. See here there may be so many number of nodes. It is permitted to move either in the plus x direction or minus x direction. Thus, each node has only one degree of freedom. Since loading of any element is only in the axial direction as shown below, obviously bending is not considered. Okay, this you understand. That is, any one-dimensional problem means here we will be loading in only one direction, that is x direction only. Here the length will be considerably very high when compared to its the diameter and all that. Okay. See here, I will be discussing one typical problem here. See here, consider the bar shown. Problem 1, a typical problem, what normally students get in the examinations and all that, whether it is any autonomous institution or VTO, the standard problems, what exactly they give. See here, consider the bar I shown below. Here I have given a bar. Determine the following when axial load. See here, as I told you, there is no transverse load, no vertical loads. Okay, when you see here, this is the axis of this bar. Axial load is only applied. Okay, as a result, axial stresses developed only we will consider. Now I will tell you everything. See here, first is determine the following when axial load of 500 Newton is applied. Okay, see here, this is a bar. This has a length of 600 mm. This has a length of 500 mm. And this has a cross-sectional area of 900 millimeter square, as you see here. And this has a cross-sectional area of 600 millimeter square. Can you follow? And this has Young's modulus of 2 into 10 to the power 5. That means this is steel, this portion is steel, and this portion is aluminum. 0.7 into 10 to the power 5 Newton per millimeter square. I think you have understood. That means this is the simple bar element what we have considered. It is subject to an axial load of 500 Newtons. And the first element here is 600 in length, and the second element here is 500 in length, 500 mm in length. And this is steel, this is aluminum. This has an area of cross section 900 mm square. This has an area of cross section of 600 mm square. Okay, when it is subjected to this, what they'll ask you, when it is subjected to 500 Newtons, what exactly you see here? It is supported here. Naturally, the displacement here is 0. There will be displacement here and there will be displacement here. Okay. That means if this is U1, this is U2 and this is U3, U1 may be 0. but there will be displacement at this, that is U2, there will be displacement. There will be displacement at U3 also. Okay, these things you have to find out. These things you have to find out nodal displacement and forces and stresses in each material. That means you have to find out what exactly is the forces developed here and what exactly is the forces developed in this element. That is force developed in steel, force developed in aluminum also you have to develop. And also you have to do what exactly is the stresses developed in steel, what exactly are the stresses developed in aluminum. Okay, that is force developed in steel, stress developed in steel, force developed in aluminum, stress developed in aluminum. You have to find out what is the reaction force. In that, at least here, it is not a complicated problem. When it is 500 Newton, that means that the reaction will be developed at the support only. It will be 500 Newton. Now it is in the plus direction. It will be here only. It will be developed. It will be 500 Newton in the other direction. Okay. At least these things, since this is a basic problem, I am telling you everything. Okay. Here, at least finding things are pretty easy. But what I have given you here is, in the examination they'll ask you not only you have to do using ANSYS release 14, but initially you have to do using theoretical approach, FEM or theoretical approach. Okay. First I'll tell you how to do this problem using theoretical approach. See, remember, this is 600, this is 500, this is area of cross section 900, this is area of cross section 600 mm square and all that. This is steel, that is this element is steel. This element is aluminum, 0.7 into 10 to the power of 5. We will have consistency units throughout. Throughout we will have Newton millimeter only. Okay, we don't want in Newton meter. You can do it in Newton meter on the meter also, and everything has to be converted. Here area and all that have to be converted. That is why better, since everything is in millimeter here, we'll stick to the units. That is why what you should know here in ANSYS is consistency of the units should be maintained. Either Newton mm or Newton meter. Okay, now we'll maintain Newton millimeter. Okay, now in that way we have come to this. See here. Now you see here, this is a problem, a simple problem. We'll do by theoretical approach. This is 600, this is 500, 900, 2 into 10 to the power of 5, 500, 600, aluminum 0.7 into 2 to 10 to the power of 5. Now I can construct the FEM model of this. First element is this, 1 to 2, 600, 2 to 3 is the second element, that has 500 mm length. This is 600, this is 500. Element 1, element 2. And I have defined the node. Node 1, node 2, node 3. This is enough. Node 1 is this, node 2 is this, node 3 is this, and it is subjected to axial load of 500 newtons. Okay, this you should know. Okay, now as you know here, I have asked the nodal displacements. U1 anyway it is 0. You have to find out U2 and U3. And force developed here, and force developed here, and stress developed here, stress developed here. Remember, this is element 1 is steel, element 2 is aluminum. Okay, element stiffness matrix, that is K element is given AE into L, 1 minus 1 minus 1 1. Okay, element stiffness matrix for element 1. These things you know in already in FEM theory. I'm just repeating. For K1, for this, for steel, it is A is 900. Okay, E is 2 into 10 to the power of 5 divided by length is 600. 1 minus 1 minus 1 1 you do. If you do this, if you simplify and all that, you are getting 10 to the power of 5. This is actually 1800 by 600. No, 3 you get. I have multiplied by 3. 3 minus 3 minus 3 3. Okay, 10 to the power of 5 is common. In that way, you have done this. You have started with K1. The same way you do K2 also. Element stiffness matrix for element 2 is 600. This is 600. Okay, you just see here. This is 600 is the length. Okay, that is 600 is the area. Okay, 600 is the area, and AE element, that is, it is aluminum, 0.7 into 10 to the power of 5. AE by L is 500. Okay, 1 minus 1 minus 1 1 if you do. If you simplify this, 10 to the power of 5 I'll have common. 600 into 0.7 divided by 500 will be 0.84. That is why 0.84 minus 0.84 minus 0.84 and 0.84 you get. This is 2 and 3. This is for the second elements. 2, 3, 2, 3. Previously it's 1, 2. It is 1, 2, 1, 2. Now it is 2, 3, 2, 3. Now we will combine the stiffness matrices. K equal to K1 plus K2. K 10 to the power of 5 it's common. Okay, first is 3 minus 3 minus 3. At this point, no, it is 3 here, as you see here. At this, it is intersection of 2 and 2. It is 3. Intersection of 2 and 2, there is 0.84. Okay, intersection of 2 and 2, 0.84, 3.84 minus 0.84 minus 0.84, 0.84 you get. That is 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3 you get. That is the stiffness, combined stiffness matrix is this you got. Okay. Now once you do this, you know K into U is equal to F. You same thing, whatever you got, K is the stiffness matrix, U is the displacement. In that way, and F is the force. Here, you whatever you got here, no, the same thing you put here, K. Okay, 10 to the power of 5, 3 minus 3, everything you same matrix you put for K. U1, U2, U3 you put, and it is 500. No, you see here at the node 3 you have 500 newtons applied. You see 10 square into 5. Okay, 500. At node 1 and node 2 there are no forces. It is only at node 3 you have the force of 500 newtons. That is why I given 10 square into 5. That is 100 into 5, 500 newtons at the node 3. Okay, that's what I given. Now if you see here, this is first row, first element, anyway it is 0. In that way, you see here, this 3.85, 10 to the power of 5. Okay, since this is 0, you have only 3.84 minus 0.84 minus 0.84 and 0.84 only you have to consider, because other one anyway it becomes 0. Okay, 3.84 minus 0.84 minus 0.84 and 0.84, U2 and U3, since U1 is 0, okay, I don't even consider. Okay, U2 and U3 anyway have to be determined. U1 is 0. Anyway, that is why I have not considered that row at all. Okay. Then once you do this, you have two elements obtained. First row, first column, 3.84 into U2 minus 0.84 into U3 into 10 to the power of 5. That is equal to 0. Next, another equation is 10 to the power of 5 minus 0.84 second row into first column. Okay, minus 0.84 into U2, 0.84 into U3 is 500. That means there are two equations you got. You solve these equations. Okay. As you know here, I have assumed U1 0 because it is at the support. U1 you need not consider at all. That is why I have considered only these two since U1 is 0. Okay. And I'll be getting U2 and U3 by solving these two. Okay. I got the two equations here, 1 and 2. I'll solve this, these two. If you solve this, U2 is 0.0016 mm. And U3 is 0.0073 mm. And element axial stress. You see here, element axial stress, as you see here, it is stress is equal to, this is, as you see here, look here. Now, it is element axial stress. A stress is equal to force by area. Okay. Now, in that way, force is 500. 500 by 900 is the length. You are getting 0.5556 Newton per millimeter square for steel. Okay, this is axial stress for steel. Next is 500 by 600. That is forces, force by area. I am talking about stress. Stress equal to force by area. 500 by 600. This is 0.833 Newton per millimeter square for aluminum. These things you have to get using ANSYS also. Okay. This, if you see here, U1 anyway it is at the support, U1 is 0. U2 you got it as 0.0016. U3 anyway you got it as 0.0073. And axial stress for the first element, that is steel, is 0.5556 Newton per millimeter square. And for aluminum it is 0.833 Newton per millimeter square. These are all the things what you have got. These things have to be verified using ANSYS release 14. Okay, now we have come to the end of session 1. We will continue this in session 2. Thank you very much for viewing. Thank you friends. Thank you.